For the first project, Clean Combo, we're going to combine 4 small reformatting macros. We're going to use this mock order data, which can be found at Academy 201's GitHub. When working with any dataset, it's a good idea to copy the original data to another worksheet before rearranging, adding, or deleting things. This way you always have a clean copy of the original. If for any reason you need to paste values, for example to wipe unwanted formatting, you will find that all the dates and times get changed to their numerical forms and all the column lists are at a fixed length, which is somewhere around 60 pixels. For this small set of data, it would be easy to go through and change the date and time formats by hand. But real data could have hundreds if not thousands of columns. We're going to create a macro that identifies the columns with the dates based on the contents of the header. Looking at the data, you will notice that all the date headers have the word date in them. We're going to go through each header and look for the word date, then change the column format to the short date. We're going to go into the Visual Basic editor, which I will do by pressing Alt F11. Go into the Personal XLSB workbook and create a module. I'm going to call it Clean Combo. You can call it whatever you like, but keep in mind that module names cannot contain spaces. So if you'd like to have a space in there, you'll have to use an underscore. It's a good idea to put option explicit at the top of the module. This has automatically been placed here because I have the required variable declaration box checked. For more information about the keywords option explicit, watch my tips video on the topic. We're going to create a public subroutine and call it fixed dates, and it will take no arguments. To find the last column of data in the first row, we need to declare a variable to hold the number of the last column. We could use int for integer, but using a long data type will run faster in Excel. To find the last column dynamically, we write the following line of code. What this does is go all the way to the end of the document and then comes back from right to left until it finds the first cell that isn't blank, and it will hold the number value of that column. To go through each cell in our header, we will use a for next loop, so we will use this variable for the column number in that loop. In the for loop, starting with the first column, we will go to the last column. Inside our loop, we're going to use an if statement to check if the word date is in the cell. If it is, we will change the formatting to a short date. Instead of an equal sign, we use the keyword like, and we surrounded the word date with asterisks as a wildcard to ignore anything in front of or after the date. Inside our if statement, we will put the line of code that will change our column format to the desired short date. Then we will end our if statement and close our loop. So now we hit reset, save, and run. And back in Excel, we can see that all the dates have been changed. Now that we know the code works, we want to consider what happens when the word date isn't capitalized. So we want to copy our original data to a new worksheet. If we change a couple of these to lowercase, the way the code is currently written, it wouldn't recognize those headers without the capital letter and date. There is an easy fix for this. We simply add or and a second statement to check for the word date with a lowercase d. So now we'll hit reset, save, and run, and we can see that those changes have been made. And now for the time macro. It's basically the same thing, only using the word time instead of date and changing to a time format. For this, we'll copy the date macro and change all the words that say date to time. Then we will change the formatting to HH:MM. Reset, save, and run. And as we can see, all the times have been changed. This looks good so far, but what if your data set uses field names that contain something that ends in DAT or even DT for the date? You could continue to add OR statements, but that gets messy, and the fewer the letters used to find the target field, the greater the chance for error. For example, DT could be short for data instead of date. What do you do when your dataset doesn't even use the words date or time at all? We will address those issues in the next video.